Entered the season as one of the league's youngest teams. Led by a 7-foot alien, the Men in Black finished with the second best record in the association and are proving to be perhaps among the most formidable in the league. Now, the Spurs are making their first NBA Finals appearance since 2014 and doing so with a lot of talent and a little faith. I mean, it never hurts to have divine intervention on your side when you're taking on the defending champs. San Antonio is looking for their 6th NBA title. So now the best-kept secret in the universe embarks on the journey. Here come the Men in Black. And let's take a look at how they got there. First round, taking on the Trailblazers, Victor Wembanyama making his playoff debut. He had 35 points in Game 1. That passed Tim Duncan for a new franchise record. Spurs dominated the Blazers in Game 5, defeating the Blazers 4-1 in the series, reaching the conference semis for the first time since 2017, where they took on the Timberwolves. Now, Spurs up 2-1 in the series, but Game 4, Wemby elbows Naz Reid in the face, issued a flagrant 2 foul, earned his first career ejection, and unsurprisingly, the Spurs lost the game. Wemby did bounce back in Game 5 with 27, 17, and 5, and 3 blocks, leading the Spurs to a victory. Game 6, Spurs dominated the Tibbies, 30-point win to close out the series. 4-2 in the series, and San Antonio advances to the Western Conference Finals for the 15th time in franchise history, where they take on the defending champ Oklahoma City Thunder. In Game 1, Wemby had a night to remember. He exploded 41 points and 24 rebounds, an otherworldly stat line, sealing the game with a pair of dunks. The Spurs won 122-115 in double overtime, giving the Thunder their first playoff loss this season. In Game 6, Spurs trailing in the series. In a must-win game for the Spurs, Wemby continued to be dominant. The third quarter, Spurs went on a 20-0 run to take control of the game. They'd force a Game 7. Now, early in the fourth quarter, Wemby knocks down the step back. He had 22 points and 7 rebounds. Spurs up 9 there under 7 minutes left in the fourth. Wemby on the bench with his 5th foul. Isaiah Hartenstein blocked by Luke Cornett in a block that some might call generational, Trev. Cornett, huge stop at the rim. Wemby is pumped. And off the miss, Stephon Castle there for the putback. Spurs win 111-103, advancing the finals for the first time since 2014.
Who's going to win Game 7?
Let me tell you something. If the Thunder win Game 7, reach the finals, and somehow go back-to-back, do you know what happens next? Kids will start flopping, just like SGA does. And that's the part nobody wants to talk about. Every generation imitates its champions. Kids copied Steph Curry's shooting. They copied Kobe's fadeaway. They copied Michael Jordan's footwork. They copied LeBron's chase down blocks and dunks. Champions influence the future of the sport. So what exactly are young players supposed to learn from this? Snapping your head back? Looking at referees after every possession? Hunting for whistles instead of finishing through contact? That's not the direction basketball should be heading. So who's going to win Game 7? Victor Wembanyama. And it has to be him. In Game 1, Thunder defenders were grabbing him, pulling him, leaning on him every possession. Did he spend the entire night complaining to officials? No. He kept playing. He attacked the rim. He blocked shots. He competed. That matters because young fans are watching. They're watching how stars react when things don't go their way. And Wembanyama's answer is usually basketball. That's why I believe he represents a better future for the league.
Stretch.
A lot of poise, a lot of courage, big-time shots from shot makers that you wouldn't expect to operate in the Game 7, considering their youth. Wembanyama, big-time shots. De'Aaron Fox, a big-time shot. Champagnie coming off the bench to give you 20 actually started. I mean, you just look at what they was doing here. He's had 20 points. He showed up and delivered. Dylan Harper showed up and delivered. It was just a collective effort. 7 players scoring in double figures for the San Antonio Spurs. They didn't sit around and play the role of spectator as Victor Wembanyama did his thing. No, they knew he would need help, and they stepped up and they delivered in the Game 7. It helped that Jalen Williams and obviously A.J. Mitchell wasn't available for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But in the end, in a Game 7 on the road, considering the youth that exists on this San Antonio Spurs team, you got to give them a boatload of credit for doing what they did tonight they really, really looked good. They stepped up and they showed that they were made for the moment. And you got to give them their props. It was really impressive.
For the Thunder, their depth got tested, and unfortunately, they fall on the losing side of this here equation. Their chance at repeating ends in the conference finals for them. So what was different about this year's postseason run for OKC?
Well, the fact of the matter is you didn't have Jalen Williams, J-Dub, the backcourt mate of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for pretty much all of these playoffs. He really only played in about 3 games. He wasn't really, I'm talking about this entire postseason. He wasn't that effective. Shai Gilgeous shows up, he gives you 35, and he has virtually no help. Alex Caruso only hit 3 or 14 shots. And Chet Holmgren was such a no-show that they sent an APB out for him during the game. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. It was an awful no-show on his part to just attempt about a couple of shots for the game, knowing that Victor Wembanyama, a nemesis on a prep level for this man, was out there doing his thing. It is a real indictment against Chet Holmgren and the no-show that he was in tonight's game. And as a result, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Oklahoma City Thunder, rife with picks from now through 2032, I believe it's like 13 first-round picks and 16 second-round picks they have as draft capital at their disposal. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they were looking in a different direction, looking to move Chet Holmgren to get somebody that can help offensively on that front line, because Victor Wembanyama is not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. He's going to be around a long time. And if you want to capture another championship in Oklahoma City, you got to deal with that man.
I don't know if there's any amount of help that's going to save you from a brother that's 7'4", hitting crossovers and step-back threes in the midst of a Game 7. So, Stephen A., we appreciate it. We're going to spin this thing forward and see how they're going to do against those Knicks later on. Stick with us, please.
Now, the NBA started tracking player minutes in 1951. Since then, the Spurs are the second youngest team to reach the finals. San Antonio's average age is 25 years and 20 days. Only the 1977 Blazers were younger then, but wouldn't you know it, they were old enough to win the chip.
So let's talk about the young boys on the San Antonio side with Big Perk joining us here on Sports Center. Wemby, we run out of adjectives, bruh. Puts up 22. Leads the Spurs to a win. What else can we say about the alien at this point, now that he's led this team to the finals?
I mean, Wemby is the best thing that happened to the NBA since LeBron James in 2003, real talk. And he checked all the boxes. Number one, he's box office, so he's going to put butts in the seats. He's the ultimate competitor on both ends of the floor. And what a beautiful performance throughout the whole course of this conference finals and the playoffs to get his team to the NBA finals. I can't speak on his leadership enough on what he's brought to the table, embodying the rest of his young squad, being a true leader, and trusting his teammates. The Spurs on the road in a tough environment, they had 7 guys in double figures tonight. And when you look at what Wembanyama did after the game, you saw his emotions. He wanted. We heard him talk about how he wanted to participate in the dunk contest, how he wanted to win the MVP, how he made the All-Star game great again. And now all of a sudden we're watching this young man embrace everything about the league and especially headed to the NBA Finals for his first time.
It's in a sense unlike any other, quite frankly. We heard De'Aaron Fox say earlier that he set the tone in this game by putting Chet on a poster and potentially on the back of a milk carton by game's end. So SGA gives you 35. You don't get a whole lot from anybody else. Where do we assign blame, I guess, when it comes to the Thunder side of this equation?
And Chet Holmgren, we're talking about a guy that was a first-time All-Star this year and made third-team All-NBA. And was a complete no-show, not just in Game 7, all throughout the course of this series. And Wemby straight up not only pumped him, but he took his heart. He snatched his soul. Chet Holmgren was scared to compete. And now Sam Presti, he have real business decisions to make when it comes to Chet Holmgren. This is not an overreaction. This is facts. Wembanyama is not going anywhere. He's going to be here. With that being said, you got to find somebody that's going to be that dude, especially if you don't know, at times injuries happen. We saw J-Dub being out. But you got to go find a guy like a Giannis Antetokounmpo that's going to come in and move the needle and be able to go toe-to-toe at some capacity with Wemby, because Chet Holmgren ain't it.
Giannis on the Thunder is insane, but it feels like that's the measure you're going to have to go when you got the alien on the other side of this equation when you meet him in the Western Conference Finals. Perk, we appreciate it as always, bro.